Well, thank you for the invitation, for being here today, and thank you for the great meal. That was a wonderful meal. It was delicious. You know, I really appreciate all the work that you all are doing. Your battle against drug addiction and alcohol addiction, and helping not only the teenagers in Washington County, the young people of Washington County, to be aware of the dangers of drugs and alcohol. You've done a lot to educate the parents about the dangers of drugs and alcohol with our students. One of the things that I work on in Frankfurt, I've been involved with this session. I was made chairman of the Veterans Military Affairs and Public Protection Committee, and under the Public Protection Committee, I deal with Homeland Security, and I've had a lot of different things with them lately, and especially after the incident in Boston, where they talk about Homeland Security, and it's really kind of the point I wanted to make is something that you all could use this summer, all you students, and I know you're excited about getting out for the summer. Man, it's really neat to get your summer started this quick. August will roll around pretty quick though, but we want you safe this summer. One of the things that we talk about in Homeland Security is if you see something, say something. And I think that would apply to you students and adults. When we see something that's not right, say something about it. Students, if you all see a child that you think that's using drugs or has some sort of a problem, say something to your parents. Say something to a teacher. Let other people know so they can get the help that they need. And as you go through the summer, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I know you all, none of you in this room and none of the students here will be involved with drugs or alcohol. But, we have a lot of young people, not just in Washington County, but across the state and across the country, that are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And I tell people all the time, and I won't be the first person that's told you this, but the best way to stop using drugs and to prevent from being addicted to drugs is to never start. Never take that first pill or never take that first drink. And you probably think, well, I'm not exposed to alcohol or drugs. We all are. It's all around us, so we are exposed to it. And most students, if you look at the surveys, most students or most young people will say they got their first drink at home. It may have not come from their household, but another young person took it from their household. So, it's very easy if you have a conversation with your parents, if they have alcohol in the home, it should be under lock and key. Another part of the surveys, if you look at them very closely, and I know you all have, and I know you've talked about this, and I'm just preaching to the choir, but I'll say it anyway, that most young people who use drugs, the first prescription drugs that they abuse are drugs that they get from home, right out of the medicine cabinet. And again, young people, work with your parents, communicate with them, communicate with other parents to let them know the dangers of having narcotics in their medicine cabinet, and it is something that we need to take very seriously. My dad always had a saying: if one young person, if you put two or more young people together, they might be the best two young people in America. But you put them together and something happens, that they take risks to impress the other young person. And my dad always said, what one won't think of, the other one will. And I've seen it happen time and time again, where good young people make bad decisions. And so hopefully this summer, all your decisions will be good. And and if you see something, you'll say something. And we look forward to seeing you all back here in the fall, safe and sound and drug-free and alcohol-free, and that this program that you're working with here in Washington County does help young people, to keep them away from drugs and alcohol, and that it does save lives. So thank you all for all you do, and thank you for your invitation here today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much. It's always good to have you. We have something now in Washington County that I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of. We now have what's called Drop It and Stop It. Up at the police department, we now have a drop box where you can take any unused prescription drugs that you are not going to finish, or maybe they didn't work for you and the doctor prescribed something else. Rather than leaving these prescriptions lay around your house where the younger children or teenagers, their friends can get a hold of these, you now can take them to the drop box and turn them in there, and they actually incinerate them. So it's safe. It's not being dumped down into the water system and getting into our groundwater. It's actually being destroyed. So Miss Wilma's handing out these magnets. Put it up on your refrigerator or somewhere where you're going to see it every day, because it is so important that we get control. One of our biggest drug problems now seems to be the prescription drugs that kids are sneaking out of their parents' medicine cabinets or out of the nightstands. They're getting a hold of them and they're taking them to school or taking them to the ballpark and they're selling them. Or they're taking them themselves.
Can I talk about the funding for these magnets?
Yeah, just a second. The next one that we have here is, of course, our campaign that we've had going on all year. I won't be the one to lose a friend to underage drinking. All right? This is another magnet. Put it up. Talk to your kids about it. All right? We all know or have had someone in our family that we've lost from either drinking, drugs, an accident caused by drinking or drugs, the addiction itself. So Ms. Wilma's going to tell you where the funding came for these and how we came about with these. These are two campaigns that we have going on right now that are so vital to our community, and we need to get the word out, because the only way we're going to stop these problems is if everybody works to help us do that. We can't do it ourselves. Wilma, you want to come on up here now and talk to them about the funding for this? Thank you.
Great message, Sheila, and I just actually ran out to the car to get these. They just came in last week, and these are going out to every student in the Washington County school systems. I have the last magnets to deliver today, but every student, every home should have these. I've got them at the pharmacies, at the drugstores. But I want to talk about the funding as well. This was not used. The funding did not come from the Heartland Youth Coalition or ASAP funds. It came from a grant through the Communicare Regional Prevention Centers, and they have a Partnership for Success grant. Washington, Marion, Nelson County were very fortunate. They wrote a grant, and we have issues in these three counties with prescription drug abuse and underage drinking. So with that $100,000 grant per year, this was two of the things that we decided to do in our community. We could have done some things where we felt like they would just throw the piece of paper away or whatever, but these can be used every day, the refrigerator, as a reminder. So we do want to thank Partnership for Success for allowing us to come up with strategies that can get in every home. We're also using that money to do ads on at Keystone Cinemas. Before each movie, there will be a 30-second PSA about both of these. Channel 6 TV will be doing one whole year of PSAs every single day for 365 days. So we thought how we could get these out to the most places. And though all of our kids go to the movies, a lot of our parents go to the movies, so they're going to be shown in Bardstown. And we thought that was the best location because it is Washington, Marion, and Nelson, and all three communities visit the cinemas over there. And also all three communities get Channel 6, so we were excited about that. There's a magazine called Simply Put that you can find in local retailers. There's a Simply Put magazine box outside of Mordecai's, downtown Springfield. They're in a lot of businesses in Marion and Nelson. And it goes to 7 counties. And this is a weekly newspaper. We took the funding as well, and it's going to be in that newspaper for 50 weeks this coming year, starting June the 1st. So look for those ads in there. And that's four ways right there that we're going to be getting the message out. And it's not just reaching Washington County, which is a good thing. It's going to be reaching other counties as well. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. At this time, I wanted to call on our RISE youth, because this is the last luncheon that we're having for this school year. We're not going to have another one until later in the year. And it's real important at this time in the history of the Washington County Heartland Youth Coalition that we hear from the youth what they have been doing, what they've been involved in, and how this has impacted them. Because we're losing, well, I shouldn't say we're losing, the grant money, the DFC? I always get those turned around. Anyway, that grant is running out, which means it's a possibility that we won't have Miss Wilma and Isaac to help head this up anymore. The coalition is going to have to sustain itself. And we can't sustain ourselves unless we have partners that are willing to come along and help us with this coalition. So we felt it was real important that you adults hear from the youth themselves what they've been involved in, how it's impacted their lives, and what they'd like to see happen in the future with the Heartland Youth Coalition. This is the face, this right here is the face of the Youth Coalition. This is our RISE youth group. And I see many faces up here that have been in it from the beginning, that have worked since they were old enough to join the youth group. And some of them are getting ready to go on to high school, some are in high school. Anybody willing to step up and tell us what this has meant? We'll start with you.
I'm Hannah Evelyn. I'm going to be a sophomore next year.
Hi. I'm Alex Mattingly, and I'll also be a sophomore next year.
I'm Zach Graves, and I'll be a junior next year.
I'm Darla Zahn, and I will be a freshman next year.
I'm Lydia Smith, and I'll be a 7th grader next year.
I'm Elizabeth Rice, and I'll be a sophomore.
I'm Caitlin Mason, and I'll be in 8th grade. I'm Beth Bunch, and I'll be a 7th grader.
So as you can see, we have a wide span from high school down to the 7th grade. All right, let me ask you this: if I could hear about only one thing that you guys did that you thought was spectacular, what would it be?
I really did enjoy the youth symposium that we did last summer. A bunch of us, we hosted the event actually. We created games and icebreakers that allow you to meet other people. So not only was it a learning experience, but you got to meet new people. And meeting new people, you know, is always a plus. At this symposium, we got to meet new people. There was a man, and he spoke. He spoke about RX drugs and how damaging they are to many people. And there were a lot of speakers that came, and staying at a nice hotel, you know, we got to be at that. I don't know. It was really nice, and it was a fun experience. Several of us went. Elizabeth, Zach, Alex, and I, and some other. Dora went too. Yeah, there was quite a few of us that went. Well, we stayed in this hotel, and we really got to know each other and to get closer. And not only did it get us closer, but it made us want to work together to fight against what this coalition is really about.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Yeah, very good job. What about Kick Butts Day? I know that y'all participate in that, right? Mm-hmm. Can somebody tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Kick Butts Day is a thing we host for the kids in the community, just about smoking and prevention, trying to teach them the causes and the damages it can do to you, and trying to prevent it before it happens.
Okay.
Or trying to stop it
Right.
from going.
Very good. All right. Somebody want to tell me a little bit about BLAST? What's BLAST?
BLAST is this program that we did, it was like a few months ago.
Better
Yeah.
Lives.
Yeah, Better Lives and Safer Towns. When was it? It was a few weeks.
It always is in November.
November. We did it in November. And I was in a group. It was called the RX Factor. Me and Amanda and Isaac did it. And the kids learned a lot, and I think they had fun.
It's a program that we do for the fifth graders, right? Fourth and fifth graders in the whole county. It's not just for a particular school, right? And it was like an all-afternoon event, right? They were all invited, and then our youth group here, they were helpers. Like she said, they did skits, and they had breakout sessions that talked about different topics. They played games. They had prizes that were handed out, and the youth coalition helped with that. They participated in all that. Thank you, Lydia. Anything else?
We had fun at Safety Day about a week ago,
There you go.
and we met a lot of little fifth graders. They were cool, and but whenever we went there, you learned a lot of cool stuff that you really didn't know before you went. It was kind of like school, but it was just talking about summer, and sun safety, and tractor safety and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Y'all did great.